Well, obviously, joined the Islanders organization here midway through the season. Maybe just take us all the way back to when you found out you were becoming an Islander, or how you found out you became an Islander, and just your thoughts since then.
Yeah, we are actually on the road playing at Sudbury in the OHL, so I was in a hotel, and it was the night before the deadline.
Title: Islanders' Calum Ritchie out day-to-day with lower body injury. Good day, hockey fans, and welcome to Across the NHL. We have some breaking news to report this afternoon, and it is news that no fan of the New York Islanders wanted to hear. Promising young forward Calum Ritchie is officially listed as day-to-day after sustaining a lower body injury in last night's contest against the Washington Capitals. This is a significant blow for an Islanders team that has been relying heavily on its youth movement to inject energy and scoring into the lineup. Ritchie, while still on his entry-level contract, has been carving out an important role for himself on the third line, showing flashes of the brilliance that made him such a high draft selection. The injury occurred midway through the second period. Ritchie was driving hard to the net on the forecheck, battling along the boards with Capitals defenseman Nick Jensen. As he pivoted to chase a loose puck, his left leg seemed to get caught in an awkward position. He immediately favored the leg, taking a few labored strides before heading directly to the bench and down the tunnel to the dressing room. He did not return for the remainder of the game. The team released a statement this morning, confirming the day-to-day designation. The statement, as you would expect, was brief, citing a lower body injury and offering no specific timeline for his return beyond the standard day-to-day classification. This, of course, leaves a great deal to speculation. The term day-to-day in the National Hockey League can mean anything from missing a single game to being sidelined for several weeks. The lack of specifics is standard operating procedure for teams who treat injury information like a state secret, but it does little to quell the anxiety of the fan base. To truly understand the impact of this injury, we need to look at what Calum Ritchie brings to this Islanders team. He is not just a placeholder, he is a crucial piece of their secondary scoring. Through 23 games this season, Ritchie has tallied 7 goals and 10 assists. Those are very respectable numbers for a player in his limited minutes. More importantly, he has brought a consistent two-way effort. His hockey sense allows him to be effective on the penalty kill, and his responsible play in his own zone has earned the trust of head coach Patrick Roy. Losing a player of his caliber, even for a short period, forces a significant reshuffling of the deck. Coach Roy will now have to look at his options. Does he promote from within, giving a player like Hudson Fasching or Simon Holmstrom an opportunity to move up the lineup? Or does he look to the American Hockey League and recall someone from the Bridgeport Islanders? A player like William Dufour could get the call to fill the void on the wing. This also puts more pressure on the top 6 forwards. Matthew Barzal, Bo Horvat, and Brock Nelson will now be expected to carry an even heavier offensive load. Teams will be able to focus their defensive efforts more intently on that top group without the threat of Ritchie's line providing a secondary punch. This is where his absence will be felt most acutely. It is not just about the points he produces. It is about the matchup problems he helps to create further down the lineup. The timing of this injury is also less than ideal. The Islanders are in the thick of a very tight Metropolitan Division race. Every single point is critical, and losing a key contributor even for a handful of games could have ramifications in the standings. They need all hands on deck, and now one of their most promising young hands is in the infirmary. We will, of course, be monitoring this situation very closely. The next key indicator will be whether Ritchie is on the ice for practice tomorrow. If he is not, that is a strong signal that he will likely miss the next game at a minimum. We will be sure to provide updates as soon as they become available. Before we continue, if you are enjoying this deep dive into the NHL news that matters, please do not forget to support the channel by liking this video and subscribing to Across the NHL. It truly helps us out a great deal. Now, looking at the bigger picture, this is an unfortunate but almost inevitable part of a young player's development in the National Hockey League. The game is faster and more physical than ever before. The grind of an 82-game schedule is immense. Injuries, especially these lower body muscular type injuries, are a common occurrence. The hope for the Islanders and for Ritchie is that this is nothing more than a minor tweak, a bit of inflammation that a few days of rest and treatment can resolve. The team's medical and training staff will be working around the clock with him. You can bet he will be undergoing intensive physiotherapy, perhaps some cryotherapy, and all the modern recovery techniques available to professional athletes. The goal will be to get him back on the ice at 100%, without risking any long-term aggravation. There is no sense in rushing a player back for 1 or 2 games only to lose him for 20. For Ritchie personally, this is a frustrating setback. He was really finding his groove and establishing himself as a bona fide NHL regular. The key for him will be to stay engaged, to study video while he is out, and to attack his rehabilitation with the same tenacity he shows on the forecheck. This is a test of his mental fortitude as much as his physical health. In the meantime, the New York Islanders must adopt a next man up mentality. This is a cliché in sports for a reason, because it is true. Adversity strikes every team over the course of a marathon season. It is how you respond to that adversity that defines your campaign. This is an opportunity for another player to step up and seize a larger role. It is also a test of the team's depth, which general manager Lou Lamoriello has always prioritized. Can the Islanders weather this storm? Can they collect points in the standings while one of their key young weapons is on the mend? The answers to these questions will begin to reveal themselves in their next game. The entire organization and its fans will be holding their breath, hoping that the day-to-day designation is a brief one, and that we see Calum Ritchie back in the blue and orange, creating havoc on the forecheck very soon. That is all the time we have for this report. Thank you for watching Across the NHL. Stay tuned for further updates on this situation and all the breaking news from around the league. Take care, everyone. Outro music swells. A graphic with the channel logo, social media handles, and a subscribe button is displayed on screen.